This is another one of the Fiend's requests in Leo's Let's Plays Alliance. He will troll everybody, including the Japanese anime manga world, because this is his house, and he would like to make the scare out of any living daylights, including any hero that's even brave enough, even the bravest of the braves of Japanese anime manga heroes are scared of the Fiend, because he does not show, he kind of has emotion a little bit, but he doesn't show it, and he hides it very well. And he wants to take out one character, and his name is Kirito Azuto Kirigaya, by the name of Kirito. So, because the Fiend's request is about Sword Art Online, 10 anime characters who are better match for Kirito than Asuna. In other words, Kirito's dream is about to become a nightmare. Feel it! For this is the Fiend's house. And Kirito, you cannot escape from the eyes of the Fiend, for he sees and watches everything. But he will do a request about everything, from who is a better match for you than Asuna ever will. Kirito and Asuna is a well-known couple in the anime world, but perhaps there are other characters who are more suitable for a guy like Kirito. Sometimes it can be hard to understand the choices that writers make for why a couple might get together in an anime. Sword Art Online is like this. With regard to the romantic relationship between Asuna and Kirito, while the two in some ways do seem compatible, there are other ways in which another partner might be better suited to Kirito, whose personality makes him sometimes distant and difficult to understand, because he's kind of like the Bruce Wayne type of character slash Batman. See how I can relate DC into Japanese anime and manga? Not a joke, because it can put that into facts. While Asuna is kind-hearted, patient, and devoted to Kirito, it often makes her seem like she doesn't totally have a handle on what Kirito needs from a partner, especially as he seeks to win the game. There are several other characters in other anime that seem like they could potentially be better partners for him, that can support him as he achieves his goals. And what are those 10 people that are those 10 want to be with that so-called guy named Kirito in SAO? Well, here they are in no particular order. Number 10, Tamari from Naruto, strong-willed and can put Kirito in his place when necessary. Yes, Tamari is one of the most accomplished and strongest female characters in Naruto. She shows her stuff almost as soon as viewers meet her in the Chunin exams, doing away with 10-10 with relative ease during the preliminaries. So, yeah. When facing Shikamaru, she shows just how formidable she is, and she later saves Shikamaru's life during the Sasuke recovery arc. Her willpower and unwillingness, if you want to know, woohoo! To concede authority to men would make her a great choice for Kirito, who needs someone strong-willed to put him in his place from time to time. And that is Tamari! Number 9, Saber from Fate/Stay Night. We'll have his back and keep him out of danger. And it's a female, not a he. a she. Her name is Saber. Saber is uniquely qualified to join Kirito in a sword art online setting. As she was King Arthur in a past life, she comes complete with incredible skills with a sword, and she's led armies into battle numerous times. From the perspective of having somebody in his party who will definitely have his back and keep him out of danger, Saber is a great choice. And her no-nonsense approach to life would definitely match well to Kirito's sometimes serious, angst-ridden determination, just like Bruce Wayne / Batman. Of course, have some similarities if you want to know, not to mention Daredevil. Number 8. Kagome Higurashi from Inuyasha. Her forthright and stubborn nature would be beneficial in decision making. That is impressive. Like, why her all this? Well, here's why. Like Kirito, Kagome is also from an isekai anime. Isekai anime, if I got that name right. Though being thrown back in time to feudal Japan is much different than getting stuck in a virtual reality video game. But their situations are similar in that they both have to adapt to a new situation. Kagome can hold her own against demons and is rarely intimidated. She'd be a great person to have at Kirito's side in battle. And her forthright and stubborn nature would make him an even match for him when it comes to decision making. See how that works? Number 7. Lucy Heartfilia from Fairy Tail. Caring, generous, and can hold her own in battle. Which is funny, to be honest, that Lucy Heartfilia is the same voice actress who voices Asuna from Sword Art Online in English voice acting, plus who voices Sailor Venus and also voices Lady Rhea from Fire Emblem 3 Houses, and also voices Roddy Tops from from 2 Shantae games. Shantae Half Genie Hero and Shantae and the 7 Sirens. Like, what? I'm not joking. And she's also from Glitter Force Doki Doki. Lucy Heartfilia is a perfect choice for a person Kirito could travel with, who would be able to handle herself, both in battle and in their relationship, which is awesome sauce. Wow! Sorry, Natsu, but it seems like someone's going to be taken. She's confident and independent, determined to make her own way in the world and not to be taken care of. And she has very strong skills as a mage, for which allow her to hold her own in battle. She has the same caring and generous attitude, nature, as Asuna, but with the added ability to look after herself, which Kirito desperately needs. And this absolutely, like, wow. Two crossroads, small world. Yes! The Fiend requested this, and Kirito's nightmares already started, and and it's not even halfway. Number 6, 02 from Darling in the Franxx. Yeah, 02 is a name, is a name of a female, if you want to know. 02. Once again, she's from Darling in the Franxx. Shares the desire to have friends. 02 would be a handful for almost anybody, but Kirito might be a good choice for her. She's passionate and lonely, and her desire for friends and to find her darling makes her sometimes aggressive and overbearing with others. She and Kirito would likely bond over this, desire to have friends, because you got to have friends. And also over the fact that they have both spent time not being well liked by their peers. So that you can relate something. Like, ouch, yeah. Which is something in common. They also both physically strong, which would make them a great team as well. Number 5, Toru Honda from Fruits Basket. She's encouraging and great awesome sauce to travel with, if you want to know. Toru Honda is likely the person on this list that's the least likely to end up in a situation where she would need to fight someone. And while that might put her in a disadvantage in the world that Kirito lives in, she's also a great person to travel with, as she's very self-reliant and goes out of her way to make sure she's not a bother to others. She has a kind-hearted nature that would definitely speak to Kirito's heart, and she would be a comforting and encouraging presence. I bet Asuna's now enraged, even if her friends who have seen her, she met from Sword Art Online. Yes! It's working! And like I said, we're not even halfway! It's just the beginning of the nightmare with Kirito, thanks to the Fiend. Yowie wowie! Number 4. Usagi Tsukito from Sailor Moon. Optimistic and would work well on Kirito's side. Usagi Tsukito is much different from Kirito. She often panics during battle, while Kirito can remain calm. Not reclaim. Remain calm in these situations. So how is this working out? But despite her fear, she always determined to look out for others and to save the day if she thinks she can. No, I'm not saying she thinks she can. She knows she can. She works well in a team, as is shown by her relationships with her fellow Sailor Scouts. And no matter what, she puts kindness and the happiness of others at the front of her priorities. Kirito would benefit from her relentless optimism and her unexpectedly extraordinary power. Number 3, Winry Rockbell from Full Metal Alchemist. And she would understand Kirito's need to care for others. Oh yeah, this is getting interesting. Winry Rockbell is an incredibly devoted friend and, as seen in Full Metal Alchemist, a focused and determined love interest who would not hold someone back, even if she loves them, which is absolutely incredibly how you put your emotions in a bottle, and this is Winry Rockbell, for crying out loud. This makes her a great partner for Kirito, since she would understand his need to take care of and protect others and not get in the way of that. Winry is also a talented mechanic, which would absolutely come in handy while trying to beat Sword Art Online. Watch out, Lisbeth, because your blacksmith duties is about to be rivaled with someone else, since she would be able to repair broken equipment on the fly. Like, who needs an anvil when you can have her instead? Number 2, Rukia Kuchiki. Or is it Kukichi? Or I'm sorry if I get the name wrong, but please forgive me. She's from Bleach, if you want to know. Strong and wouldn't let Kirito be reckless. And also a very stubborn nature. Like Saber, Rukia is a person who has a lot of combat skills. So just from the perspective of having someone around who is good at her job and would be a boon to the team, Rukia is a great choice of companion for Kirito. She is focused and talented and is also used to spending time around. and sometimes giving orders to others, which makes her like she wants to be in command when she feels like it. She wouldn't let Kirito run off or be reckless, but her stoic attitude would be a good pairing with Kirito's more emotional nature. And number 1, and I'm sorry if for those who are fans of Vegeta, but please forgive me. From the Dragon Ball series, Bulma wouldn't let him be blinded by his emotions. Bulma spends a lot of her time around men who don't think before they act, and sometimes don't know how to behave around women in general. So she'd be a good companion for Kirito from that perspective. She can be loud and temperamental, and she definitely wouldn't let Kirito make reckless decisions based on his emotions. At least not without giving him grief about it. Also, Bulma is kind of a tsundere, if you want to know. Very, very much of a tsundere. So, it's not a secret that I kind of know what her personality is, but then again, you guys do know better than I do that what her personality is, if you want to know. Her strength as a fighter would be tempered by her desire to not run into dangerous situations, which would make them a good pair. Yeah. Because that nightmare for... Usually that... You know, the nightmare for Kirito is already beginning, and I don't think it's ever going to end. And you know what? It's never going to end. It's just gonna keep on giving the way that how Kirito befriended Asuna in the first place. Then Lisbeth, and then there's Silica, and then the rest is history. Of course, there are games like Sinon from the second TV show from Sword Art Online, which is, you know, Gun Gale Online. And how he disguised himself as a woman on that avatar. It's like, and then some guys are going to woo this woman and say, hey there! Hey, babe, want to go out with me? I mean, we can have lunch together. How about I get a cup of coffee? Like Kirito would say, I don't know about this. Can you, why don't you call me later and we can talk about it as friends? Like, what? But this, yeah, some guys, people don't even know this woman is a guy who got on the nerve gear dressing up as a woman because it's Gun Gale Online. And like, what did I just do? I just went out with a person who's a woman, but this woman is he. Like, what? I'm gonna knock myself out cold, have amnesia, and drink a cup of coffee, and I will not remember what just happened or transpired. And like, please, someone pinch me. I must be dreaming, because if this was a nightmare, it's a nightmare because it is so real. It's so bad that I want to go to sleep not remembering this type of day, and then all of a sudden, a brand new day. Yes, it is. It is living like normal. So that, instead of going screaming your pants off and yelling out of the top of your lungs, and all of a sudden this just goes to show you, like, ah! Oh, did I went out with? Ah! So this is why how the Fiend does not react, but others will, but the Fiend does not. And this is why the Fiend makes Kirito's life more troubling in front of Asuna, because since Asuna is a tsundere in that type of fact of SAO, it just goes to show you that no matter what you do, you try to befriend those in SAO, whether it's GGO or whichever works, like from Alfheim and initialization. No matter how well he does it, or if he gets confused, he's always eats peanut butter and chocolate and breakfast for dinner because he's a woman. He tries not to be a womanizer, but he is kind of a womanizer. And he will get into these situations with Xenon, Silica, Straya, Leifa, which, you know, that, like, how, of course, she doesn't realize who Kirito is from the real world, if you want to know. Like, this close to go hanging out with the man of your dreams. It's like, hey, I'm dating someone from my family! And it's like Star Wars! Like, Luke and Leia belong together, only except they don't know it's his brother and sister, which is funny. And then all of a sudden you see this happen on episode 5 from Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back. And which I'm pretty sure for those who you are Star Wars fans out there, it's because, like, yeah, Luke got the kiss from a pretty lady whose name is Leia, and like, yeah, big points against Han Solo, for crying out loud. Like, and Han Solo, like, take it easy. Is he jealous? I don't know. And they're like, okay, when Luke gets here, I'll stay back. I don't mind that you two belong together, and I'll understand, and like, I'll be friends no matter what. And like, that was so kooky from Star Wars. SAO and Star Wars have a bit of a similarity, like Kazuto Kirigaya and Suguha Kirigaya are related, but they're family. And then, like, you this close, Leifa wanted to get the man of her dreams, and that is Kirito. And then all of a sudden, like, oh my gosh, who did I just went out with? It's simple. You just went out with someone who's related. Like, no, this is like Star Wars. Why? Darth Vader wanted to say, I am your father to Kirito, which would work. And guess what? That can work if he is Luke Skywalker. Except he doesn't lose his hand. Which he doesn't, but in the TV show, or the the TV show series that is Japanese anime voice acting, it is Arkham, and it is has a very dark storyline. The same thing goes for the Star Wars franchise. Can't be to a slice of life, slice of comedy, and drama with romance. All the works, you name it, with Star Wars. And this is why the fact that it gets to be this way, no matter what you do, no matter what you are in, Kirito, you will always be hunted by those who follow you wherever you go, because the Fiend has your number, and he knows how to pick your poison, and that is because you are a womanizer. That's right, a womanizer! As long as the Fiend lives, he cannot lose! In other words, he cannot be killed off, no matter what. And for that is why my version of the Fiend would like to troll anyone, any day of the week and any day of the night. Especially in Star Wars. Sometimes you wonder, it's like life is like a box of chocolates. You'll never know which one you're going to get unless you try one out. Because that is absolutely true in real life. Life is like a box of chocolates. And it seems we are going to stop here for the time being, and we are going to pick up from where we left off, or pick up another topic from where for instance, to find in my juicy details, and thanks to the Fiend himself, of course. Thank you guys for watching. Do you like it or hate it? Mash that like button and or share this video. If you guys like Arkham Twin Days Weekend Special, including Tuesdays and Thursday evenings as well. As your friendly neighborhood superhero who takes chances, making mistakes, and getting messy, who likes peanut butter and chocolate into a breakfast for dinner, because when the going gets tough, it's always going to be you know when to call. Godspeed, play safe, and shalom. Remember to fight with honor, love, truth, and justice, and this is Alliance Teen, and see you guys next time for more of Arkham Twin Days. And it will be as told. The Fiend will haunt Kirito, because Kirito has weaknesses because he's a womanizer, and the Fiend will always lock onto things on targets for what Kirito likes best and what of his interest and likes, no matter what he does. Even if he tries to swing his sword against the Fiend, it will not work. The Fiend has got Kirito's number in S.A.O. The nightmare has already begun. Boo-hoo! There is nothing for him to save himself now. The Fiend is safe, but Kirito is not.